Clark made a surprise visit to Des Moines North High School, and she brought gifts.
To be able to use my resources and my platform to be able to give back to kids and families that, have been an integral part of my life is really cool for me.
Caitlin's generosity and how it impacts and will impact just hundreds of students in our community. Caitlin Clark clearly is one of the most recognizable faces in basketball today, and so for our young people.
Miracles do exist, and the miracle that happened to this family is bringing tears to everyone's eyes. This unfortunate family house caught fire, and they lost everything they owned.
All they had left was the clothes on their backs. Tonight, a Detroit family of 5 is asking for help after losing everything in a devastating fire.
But you won't believe what happened afterwards. Out of the blue, it was like an angel visited them. And that angel was Caitlin Clark. She did the unexpected, and the whole world has given her respect for it. Can you guess what she did for them? Join us as we explore this heartfelt story and get to know the legendary WNBA superstar.
University of Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark became the NCAA's all-time career scoring leader for women's basketball.
The Caitlin Clark intervention. The family of James and Allison were having a good night's sleep when James started feeling suffocated. At first, it felt like a dream having an effect on his reality, but then his eyes snapped open and he still could feel the suffocation. He quickly sprang up and put on the lights, but they weren't working. It was like there was a power outage. So instead, James quickly reached for his phone and put on the torch. He was feeling choked and began coughing slightly. Once his torch came on, you won't believe what he saw. A thick cloud of smoke everywhere. He quickly tapped his wife to wake up, and once she did, she was also shocked to see the cloud of smoke in the room. Both their minds went to their children in almost an instant, and they quickly rushed out of the room to go check on their children. Once they opened the door, they saw a blazing flame hanging over their head. The ceilings were on fire, and the sight was absolutely horrifying. For the sake of safety, James told his wife to stay back so he'd go alone. The children's room was just next door, so he quickly jumped into their room, where he woke them up and carried the young daughter on his back and led the teenage son out the window. They escaped the house that was being engulfed by a fireball, and he called to his wife to use the window on the room she was in. She was scared, but she still did it. Unfortunately, on landing on the floor, her ankle got twisted. A neighbor called 911, but the house and everything within it caught up in flames and was consumed. All James and his family could do was watch as their whole life went up in flames and soon went down to ashes.
Family of 8 is now homeless after a dryer fire destroyed everything that they had.
Later, the firefighters and some journalists got there. News of the fire quickly made headlines. The family had nowhere to go, so they set up a camp tent in front of where their house used to be to stay in for a while until they could figure things out. But lucky for them, the universe had other plans. The WNBA legend, Caitlin Clark, saw their tragedy on the news and she was very sympathetic with them. But instead of reaching out directly, she decided to make what was about to happen feel more special. James got a call, informing him that he had won the lottery to go pick out furniture for free. This was very confusing. What would they need furniture for when they didn't have a house? But his wife saw it as an opportunity. They were already gathering every dime they had to go rent a place, and if this was actually real, they wouldn't have to sleep on the floor for so long. Because they had no plans of buying stuff for the house, at least for the next year. They just needed a roof over their head while they got back on their feet. They had gone through this major change and had lost everything. This was basically them starting over. And that was difficult to do. So they went to the furniture store on the appointed day with their 2 children. They informed the receptionist that they got a call from their store and explained what the caller said, just to be sure they were not in the wrong place and not to risk embarrassing themselves. The man asked them to take a look around while he confirmed, and so they did. There were beautiful mattresses, beds, cushions, whatever kind of furniture you were looking for, they had it. It was like they were in dreamland. The children, who had no idea what was going on, were just excited to be there. That was when Caitlin emerged from her hiding place and revealed herself. It was the teenage son that first recognized her and lost his mind. James did too, and was blown away by her presence. Their daughter was deeply fascinated by this 6-foot giant. Caitlin was the tallest woman she had ever seen. Caitlin approached them and told them to pick everything they needed for their new home, that they would cater for everything. Allison and James burst into tears. They couldn't believe what was happening at that point. They were so emotional that they couldn't stop thanking Caitlin, but she told them that they didn't need to. Caitlin paid for 3 mattresses, bed frames, a couch, and a number of other things that the family would need in their new apartment. She then took things a bit further by giving the family some money so they'd be able to rent the apartment for a year at least. Caitlin Clark was an angel sent upon their lives. She was kind and friendly and even kept in contact with the family to make sure they were okay.
Clark is the platinum-certified rock star of college basketball, leading the nation in scoring, assists, and charisma, while filling arenas at home and on the road and driving record television ratings as millions at home watch to see what she will do next.
She was there for a family that hit rock bottom, but she softened the blow so they wouldn't shatter, which shows how kind-hearted she is. And she didn't do that because she had so much money to burn. It was because she truly cared. You think that isn't the case? Keep watching to see why it is. Caitlin Clark is the first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark, University of Iowa.
Has an estimated net worth ranging between $3.8 million and $5 million as of 2024. Her wealth comes from a combination of her WNBA salary, which isn't that much, and is around $338,000 over 4 years. But that's not all. Her money also comes from endorsement deals. During her college career, Clark capitalized on name, image, and likeness, NIL, deals with major brands like Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. These deals alone earned her millions while she was still a student athlete. Now, her net worth is expected to increase, especially as she transitions into her professional career with expanded endorsement agreements. Her deal with Nike, for example, is estimated to be worth $28 million over 8 years, further boosting her financial status. But that is not the point. The point is, at this moment, Caitlin isn't worth so much, and she most likely has her own issues, but she chooses to help others. And some naysayers might say she did it for publicity, but the story was kept under wraps. And besides, it's a habit. You are wondering how? Well, let's look into some of her other generous works. Other kind actions of Caitlin Clark. We all know Caitlin Clark for her basketball prowess.
If everyone knows whose hands it's supposed to be in, magic happens when magic happens, and we've seen it a lot with Caitlin Clark.
But there is another side of her that some people don't know of. The side that has a deep commitment to giving back to the community. And it is that commitment that led to the creation of the Caitlin Clark Foundation. This foundation embodies everything she stands for, beyond the court. It stands for her desire to uplift and inspire, especially focusing on children and families in need. The foundation's mission is broad, yet clear. Caitlin wants to make a lasting impact on those who might not have the same opportunities she had growing up. It focuses on expanding access to education, sports, nutrition, and positive life experiences for young people. Caitlin understands the power of sports to build confidence and foster teamwork, but she also recognizes that not every child has the chance to participate. With her foundation, she hopes to remove those limitations and create spaces where children can thrive, no matter their background or financial circumstances. One of the foundation's key initiatives is Project Heart. This program, with its warm and inviting name, goes a long way to communicate Caitlin's empathy and compassion. Project Heart goes beyond just financial support or equipment donations. It strives to nurture emotional connections and create meaningful moments for children and their families. It's a project rooted in Caitlin's belief that every child deserves love.
The Caitlin Clark Foundation, along with Nike, provided 350 backpacks full of supplies to kids from all across the districts in the Des Moines Metro.
Care, and a chance to pursue their dreams, whether that's through playing sports, excelling in school, or simply finding a mentor who believes in them. Caitlin's vision for Project Heart is to not only give kids what they need physically, but to offer them encouragement and a sense of belonging, which can make all the difference in shaping their future. Caitlin has often spoken about how important her own family and community were in her journey to becoming one of the most famous athletes in women's basketball. It's clear that this personal experience drives her work with both her foundation and Project Heart. She doesn't just see these initiatives as a way to donate money or resources. She views them as a way to actively participate in the lives of young people who look up to her. By connecting with children through camps, community events, and mentorship opportunities, Caitlin wants to be there for the next generation in a very hands-on, personal way. This personal touch is something that puts her on a different level from others. It shows that she's not just a name on a charity board or an athlete endorsing a cause. She's deeply involved and truly cares about the impact she's making. But that's not all. You'd never have foreseen the next one. Caitlin's generosity extends well beyond the basketball court and her foundation, especially through her involvement with Caitlin Clark 22 Home and her efforts to support the Coralville Community Food Pantry. The name 22 Home holds special significance, and you probably felt it looked familiar too, because the number 22 has become one with Caitlin. It is the number on her jersey, which she wears with pride. But she's used this iconic number not just to stand out in sports, but to create a meaningful impact. Caitlin Clark, 22. Home is about providing for families in a way that truly feels like home. Her vision for this initiative revolves around more than just putting a roof over people's heads. It's about building safe, nurturing environments where families can grow, connect, and feel supported, even in the face of the hardships that comes with life. For Caitlin, a home is more than just a physical space. It's about the warmth, security, and love that every family deserves, and that's what 22 Home hopes to deliver to those in need. But Caitlin's heart for giving doesn't stop there. When she learned about the food insecurity struggles facing many families in her community, she knew she had to do something. That's when her efforts with the Coralville Community Food Pantry became a big focus.
The Coralville Community Food Pantry distributes 5 bus tickets per household every week.
They started giving these away more than 5 years ago, but each year they work to collect more funding to support this effort.
Instead of just talking about the issue, she took action by rallying her fans in a way that only Caitlin could, through basketball. Caitlin encouraged her supporters to contribute in a unique way by making $22 donations, connecting the amount to her jersey number. It was a simple idea, but it gained momentum quickly, showing how even a small donation, when combined with the power of community, could make a huge difference in the fight against hunger. The pantry itself, plays a crucial role in Coralville. It has been serving families and individuals who struggle to get enough food, and Caitlin has been a powerful voice in supporting their mission. You see, through these $22 donations, fans have been able to directly help families who are facing food insecurity. What made Caitlin's call to action even more special is the way she framed it. It was not just as a request for money, but as a team effort. And who wouldn't want to be on the same team as Caitlin Clark? But it wasn't just that. She wanted her fans to feel like they were part of something bigger, something that could create real change in their community. The donations weren't just numbers. They were meals, relief, and hope for countless families. And because Caitlin's influence reaches far beyond Coralville, her call inspired fans from all over to contribute, thereby creating a ripple effect that went much further than she initially imagined. This little $22 contributions amounted to a whopping $100,000. Mind-blowing, right? She used her platform to do good. Caitlin's connection to the Coralville Food Pantry shows how deeply she cares about her local community.
Iowa women's basketball star Caitlin Clark hosted a donation event at the Coralville Community Food Pantry. The event was part of Clark's Team Up Against Hunger campaign.
The same place where she honed her basketball skills and developed into the person she is today. It's clear that she doesn't just want to be a star athlete. She wants to be a champion for her community in every sense. The collaboration between Caitlin Clark 22 Home and the Food Pantry embodies her desire to lift up those who need it the most, making sure they have the support and resources they need to thrive. And as always, Caitlin's approach is personal and heartfelt, making those who contribute feel like they're joining her on a mission to make the world a kinder, more compassionate place. But of course, that's not the end of it. When you think Caitlin Clark can't do any more, she surprises you. You would never have expected this next one. Collaboration to do good. Caitlin Clark's partnership with Nike has been more than just a business collaboration. Instead, it has also been an opportunity for her to give back in ways that directly touch people's lives. One of the most memorable examples of this is when Caitlin, in partnership with Nike, spearheaded an effort to provide essential winter gear and sports equipment to those in need. Through this initiative, Caitlin made sure that 85 hoodies, 75 pairs of winter gloves, 85 hats, and 57 basketballs were donated, alongside 15 footballs, 12 soccer balls, and 15 jump ropes. The value of these items in retail terms was over $13,000, but their impact went far beyond monetary worth. It wasn't just about giving out things, it was about providing warmth during the harsh winter months, encouraging physical activity, and creating opportunities for kids to engage in sports who might not otherwise have had access. This is the kind of story that just makes your heart melt. What's particularly inspiring about this effort is how personal it was for Caitlin. She's always seen sports as a tool for empowerment, and through this initiative, she wanted to pass that gift along to as many kids as possible. Basketballs, footballs, soccer balls, and jump ropes weren't just toys, but tools for young people to explore their potential, stay active, and develop a love for sports that could benefit them for years to come. Caitlin knows firsthand how important access to sports is, having grown up in a supportive community that helped her nurture her own talent. Her goal with these donations was to provide that same kind of support to children who may not have the same opportunities but have just as much potential. The timing of this initiative couldn't have been better. With winter fast approaching, many families struggle to afford the extra expenses of warm clothing, and sports equipment often becomes an afterthought when people are focused on basic needs. Caitlin recognized this, and with Nike's help, stepped in to fill that gap. The hoodies and winter gloves were a practical and thoughtful addition. They ensured that children stayed warm while still being able to enjoy the activities they love. Caitlin's focus wasn't just on giving items, but on fostering a sense of joy and possibility for the recipients. Nike's involvement in this initiative was also significant. It wasn't just a case of throwing their logo on a few products and walking away. It was a collaborative effort with Caitlin that aligned with her personal values of giving back to the community. Nike, as a global brand, understands the power of sports to change lives, and through this partnership with Caitlin, they showed that they are committed to using their influence for good. By donating high-quality gear and equipment, they ensured that kids weren't just receiving things, but were being treated with the respect and care they deserve. Are you happy the WNBA has a person like Caitlin Clark? Are you convinced she's the best player in the WNBA, both on and off the pitch? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.